Roughly 2 out of 3 people who start a free trial never cancel it. They simply start paying quietly, automatically, without ever deciding to. That's not a coincidence. Free trials aren't generosity. They're a machine built over 70 years, engineered so that doing nothing costs you money. Today, we're taking it apart. The blueprint dates to 1955, when the Columbia Record Club invented negative option billing. Join for free, and albums arrived every month automatically. Unless you mailed back a card saying no, most people never mailed the card. Negative option billing has one rule. Silence equals consent. Say nothing and the company assumes yes. It worked so well for book clubs and record clubs that it became the default model for nearly every recurring business that followed. Fast forward to today. Netflix, Adobe, Amazon Prime, your gym. Same machine, just wearing a sleeker interface. The free trial is the modern mailing card. The only difference is you never even see the card you're not returning. Here's the mechanism, stripped down. Day 1. You enter a card number for something that's free. Day 7 or day 30, that same card gets charged automatically. Nobody calls you. Nobody asks again. The switch just flips. In 1990, economists Kahneman, Knecht, and Thaler handed college students a coffee mug. Owners demanded twice as much to sell it as buyers were willing to pay for the identical mug. Ownership, even for 5 minutes, doubled its perceived value. A free trial manufactures that same ownership. By day 10, you've built a Netflix queue, a Spotify playlist, a Notion workspace full of your notes. It already feels like yours. Canceling doesn't feel like avoiding a cost. It feels like losing something you own. Then there's friction, deliberately unequal. Signing up for Amazon Prime takes 2 clicks. The FTC sued Amazon in 2023, alleging cancellation took 4 pages and 6 clicks, a process employees reportedly nicknamed the Iliad flow, after a poem nobody finishes. That asymmetry is the point. Every extra click is a chance for you to give up and stay subscribed. Behavioral researchers call it a roach motel design. You can check in easily. Checking out is where the machine earns its money. Add the calendar gap. 30 days feels distant and abstract on the day you sign up. A future problem for future you. Psychologists call this present bias. We consistently underweight things that happen later, even by a few weeks. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. There's also the sunk cost of setup. You typed in your card number, verified your email, imported your contacts or your music library. Small efforts, but each one makes quitting feel like undoing work, even when the app itself does nothing yet. Finally, default bias. A famous study on 401k enrollment found that switching from opt-in to opt-out raised participation from 37% to 86%. Same choice, same paperwork, just a different default. Free trials default you into paying. That's the whole design. Ledger entry, 5 separate psychological effects. Ownership, friction, forgetting, sunk cost, and default bias, all stacked on top of a single free button. None of them require the product to be good. So what does this actually cost? Survey respondents in one nationwide study guessed they were paying about $86 a month across all their subscriptions combined. Their real bank statements told a different story, roughly $219 a month. The gap between what people think they spend and what they actually spend was over $130 every single month. Multiply that gap across a year and you get close to $1,600. money leaving your account for services you forgot you agreed to, sitting quietly on a statement you don't read closely. Picture a single forgotten trial, a $9 a month streaming app, signed up for during a free week, forgotten for half a year. That's roughly $54 gone before you even notice the charge on your statement. Or the annual version, Amazon Prime's yearly plan renews automatically at $139. Skip the trial reminder once, and you've prepaid for a full year of 2-day shipping you may not have wanted. Now stack 3 or 4 of these across a typical household. One streaming trial, one meal kit, one software subscription, one forgotten gym plan. That's not pocket change anymore. That's roughly a car payment paid annually to your own forgetfulness. Ledger entry. The average gap between perceived and actual subscription spending runs about $1,600 a year. A tax collected not by the government, but by your own calendar. By the way, I keep out a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. None of this makes free trials evil. It makes them a machine. And machines have parts you can inspect and disable. Here are the 3 rules that flip the mechanism back in your favor. Rule 1. Set the cancel day reminder on the day the trial starts, not the day you remember. Put the actual charge date and dollar amount in your calendar title. Not cancel Netflix, but Netflix charges you $15 today. That specificity matters. A vague reminder gets swiped away in half a second. A reminder with the exact number forces your brain to make a real decision again, instead of coasting on the default the company already picked for you. Rule 2. Use a virtual card. Services like privacy.com or your bank's own virtual card tool let you set a spending cap or an auto-expiring number for exactly 1 payment. When the trial tries to auto-renew, the charge simply bounces. Instead of quietly taking your money, the company has to email you asking for a new card, which means you, not the calendar, make the final call. Rule 3. Decide before you start. Before entering any card number, ask one question out loud. Would I pay full price for this today? If the honest answer is no, the free trial isn't a gift. It's a countdown to a charge you already know you'll regret. Regulators notice the same pattern. In 2024, the FTC finalized a click-to-cancel rule, requiring companies to make canceling as easy as signing up. It's a start, but until it's fully enforced, the 3 rules above are your actual defense. To recap the blueprint, reminder on day 1, with the real dollar amount, a virtual card that expires on its own, and a decision made in advance before the free button ever gets pressed. Do this across a year and the math flips. Instead of $1,600 leaking out through 5 or 6 forgotten renewals, you keep the 2 or 3 subscriptions actually worth paying for. On purpose, at a price you chose. Ledger entry. 3 habits, maybe 10 minutes of setup again against a machine that was quietly costing the average household well over $1,000 a year. That's a good trade by any measure. The truth about free is simple. Nothing about the trial is free. It's a loan of your attention made on the bet that you won't collect the interest. Most people don't. Now you know exactly why. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. So next time a button says, try free for 30 days, remember what's actually being tested. It's not the product, it's whether you'll remember to say no. Set the reminder, use the card, decide first, keep the $30.